Well, I'm back with our misogynical points. Well, just wait a minute. Okay. Now here you can see these points, and here now let's check at the moments. Well, Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela Santa. I am here with you. According with the titles, yes, today we are roasting Blaise Metreweli, and now in this cases, here is the points, and now we are discussing at the moments where today's moment is the reality of Manchester MP election in 2024. Okay, now first of all, I would react on a videos of a favorite channels, YouTube channels named SaharTV. And now let's check at the first times. Well, now in this cases here we can see it is SaharTV, my favorite Israeli channels. And now here we can see the now here my topic is about England's MI6. Now who is Blaise Metreweli? And in this cases, Blaise Metreweli, born in July 30, 1977, is the first female chief of MI6, appointed on October 1st, 2025, after long careers in British intelligence. Okay. And now, in this cases, here we can see, well, accordance with the Greater Manchester Mayor results in the elections 2024. Now, in this cases, we know here Andy Burnham gets votes of 420,749, and he becomes parliamentarians. And here Laura Evans, the conservative politician, gets 68,946, and she lost it. Okay. But now, in this cases, let's check out the points. What's going on? Okay. Oh my God. And now here you can see. Now in this cases, my favorite YouTubers, SaharTV, he states about the points. Here as a man, English speaking is not allowed. Okay. Now let's check at the points. What's going on? Okay. Now here the Israeli YouTubers Sahar said that now English speak English isn't classed as a hate crimes. Okay. Now in this cases, here we have notified an English policeman. Okay. Now let's check at the moments. Now what's going on? Well, in this cases, what's happened? Now here we could notify an English policeman state to the some persons when the following the ordinary English citizens states to the man to be migrants that could you speak English please? Could you speak in English language please? And here the English policeman states here, speak in English language is in class as a hate crimes. Okay. Now in this cases, what is the definition of hate crime as we learn in sociology? Here I would ready to mention it. Now we know that the here definition of hate crime is a particular crimes when we spread hate against someone to hurt the second person, or disrespect some second persons, or disrespect the second person's ethical identities, that is considered as hate crimes. And now, for some months, I am a pro-Jewish Muslim, and if some another person would state that be anti-Jewish, that is the hate crimes for the from the second persons, because then here we can see my identity is ethical as an pro-Jewish, and someone wants that I would be an anti-Jewish. That is that means if I am pro-Jewish, the second person would disrespect me, and that is the definition of the hate. That is the example of the hate crimes. But now, when Keir Starmer became when the from the year calendars, when Keir Starmer became the elected Prime Minister of England in 2024. Now, in 2 days, we contest an anti-Burnham as an elected Prime Minister of England. But still, here is the point to be noticed. Elected Prime Minister, the English policeman, I mean, particularly he would be the English police officers to be inspectors, or he would be the Assistant Commissioner of Police. But he said that speak in English language is a class as a hate crimes. And now here we could see now what is the relation with the Blaise Metreweli? Here relation is the Blaise Metreweli is that now here we can relate it some the significant moments here several illegal immigrants has been in the Greater Manchester of England in the election times in 2024. That can be July 1st, 2024 or July 4th, 2024. And now I have gotten 2 minutes to provide some spaces. Oh my. Okay. Now let's check it the moments, and here we can see. Well. And now let's come into the points about the moments. When now here is my question. Here is my first question was why the English policeman to be Assistant Commissioner of Police state that speaking English language is a class as a hate crimes. Now here we can see. Let's check out the results. We could notify him Andy Burnham gets the votes of 420,749 votes in the election of in the parliamentary election of England in 2024. But now let's check it. Who is the Andy Burnham? Okay, now let's check it. Here we could see okay, now, Andy Burnham is identified himself as an socialist. Okay, and as a British liberal politician, Andy Burnham, we could see that Andy Burnham is a socialist politician in British Labour parties. And now here we can see Well, it is the another points. Now let's check it the moments. And now here is my predictions. And now when the politics would be in England, now we can see the points. What is the British mindset about the democracy? Well, in this case, British minds, the white British are the hardcore capitalists. Well, British loves capitalism, and here British loves the growth of England. And now, if in the the citizens of the particular country wants their country's growth as an 4.6 trillions, they have to be a hardcore capitalist. And now, what Englanders is they can be supporters of Labour parties, they can be supporters of Conservative parties, but all of white Englanders are hardcore capitalists. And now, in these cases, in Manchester city, I mean the greater Manchester of England, here was not possible that any socialist politicians can get even one vote from white Englanders. And now it is the first point. Now what about the second point? In this case, the second point is that, well, white Englander does not vote any women to be the parliamentarians. That is the culture of England. Because here we can see this points, every progressive country is a misogynist country. And feminism can work only and only in the Afghanistan, Iran, Philistine, and even Bangladesh and Pakistan. And Zimbabwe, feminism works. But in Israel, in England, in United States of America, to progress the country, here the only one gender based ideology works, that is the misogyny. And now you can see the points. None of white Englander would vote for a woman. That is the nature of the beautiful, that is the beauty of the elections. And now let's check at the moments. Well, here we can see this points. What's going on? And here we can see. Now let's check at the moments. Here we could notify that points to be notified as an Andy Barnham, a socialist, can get 420,749. And so when Laura Evans, a woman to be Conservative parties, gets here 68,946, and she is the second. Well, from the Green parties here, Hannah Spencer gets here 45,905. Okay. Now here we can see this points. Who is the Laura Evans? We don't know. Well, and now let's check at the moments. It is the moments at the points. Here is Hannah Spencer. That is the significant trace. We could say it is the Hannah Spencer's. She's in women's. Oh my God, nice. Now here you can see Laura Evans. As we could search, Laura Evans is in women's. Well, now here we can see this is the points to be noticed. And now let's check at the points. Now here we can contents and additions, and addition is just and dangerous moments. Okay. Now here is 420,749 can be summed by 6,800. I apologize, 68,000 946. Well, that can sum by here 45,905. And now this is the cases of the points. Someone state hi. Okay, salam, how are you? Then what's going on? Hence the entire number is about 535,600. And it is the cases of the women. We could state that here 535,600 Bangladeshi was attend to vote in Manchester constituencies of the parliamentary election in England in 2024. And now we could say as a private car of the 4 seats like Ferrari or Lamborghinis like that. Now how much car was that? That was here we can see. It is the points about 133,900 cars. Contains here 535,600 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. And now here I would discuss about 33,000 475 cars. Okay. In this cases here we can see those points. Now here is in probable 4 routes. And one route here 133,900 Bangladeshis are from Barisal, the city of Bangladesh, to Greater Manchester, the district of England. I mean Greater Manchester, the county of England. And now let's check at the moment what's going on. And now here we will talk about the only in the perception of England. Here we can see this moments. Now let's check at the points. What is the realities at the moment of the points? Now we can see this is the cases here. Now departure is Barisal, the city of Bangladesh, and arrival is Manchester, the city of Greater Manchester, county of England. And now who is the middle route? The middle route is Moscow, the capital city of Russia. And in these cases, in that times, Blaise Metreweli was an official in MI6. I mean, chief officials in MI6, where Richard Moore would be the director of MI6 under Rishi Sunak, the former Prime Minister of England. And now let's check at the points. What's going on in these cases? Now let's check at the moments. What is the plan of Blaise Metreweli in these cases? Here, driving route was here 11,000. Guys, driving route was 10,285 kilometers, 400 meters. As a round figure, that is about 11,000 kilometers. Okay. And now in these cases here we can see the points. What would be the okay? Now in these cases, what would be the expected velocity? In these cases, here expected velocity would be here 11,000 kilometer per second. As in it is the 11,000 kilometer per second. Here is the driving velocity, where driving time is 11,000 kilometers. Hence the driving time would be 1 second. And now what's going on? In that cases, here is the points when we calculate departure times and arrival times in the perception of Englander time zones, still here the departure time is morning 6 o'clock, July 1st, 2024, and arrival time is morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past, July 1st, 2024. And in these cases, and in the here, who was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh? The Prime Minister of Bangladesh was Sheikh Hasina in 2024 at the July 1st, 2024. And now, in this cases, now let's take it. And here we can see that here travel has been, velocity has been discussed and travel time has been discussed. And now, that is the cases at the moment. Well, what's going on? Now, in these cases, here we contain the significant notifications. Now, significant notification is beautiful. And now, let's check out the points to be noted. And in these cases, what would be the kinetic energies? When kinetic energy as a calculated as an Isaac Newtonian kinetic energies law methods. And now, in this cases here we can see when travel time is 1 second, here kinetic energy is kinetic powers. Because kinetic powers equation is kinetic energy divided by travel times. But when travel time is 1 second, kinetic energy is always kinetic powers. And now, secondly, here we can see when travel time is 1 second, what is the driving velocity's definitions? The driving velocity's definition at the travel time to be 1 second is the calculated driving distance. And now, in these cases, there is the moments. Well, the driving distance is 11,000 kilometer per. I will get here. Driving distance is 11,000 kilometer per second. Driving timing is 1 second. Hence, the driving velocity is 11,000 kilometer per second. But as a driving velocity. Now, let's take at the points because driving distance is 11,000 kilometers. And now, what is the driving distance to be 11,000 kilometers? Hence, the driving distance to be 11,000 kilometers is 11 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. And now, in these cases, what is the driving timing? Well, what is driving distance square? And here 11 square is 121 and well 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. Hence, driving distance square is 121 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meter square. When here travel time square is 1 meter square because travel time is 1 meter seconds. Hence, travel time square is 1 second square. Now let's check at the moments. In these cases, here we can see the points. What is half of weight of one car containing 4 illegal Bangladeshi to be voted in England, vote in the Manchester during the election in England in 2024. Here we can see the points. Half of weight of one car is 1,000 kilograms. And now, in these cases, here is the moments. What is here? 33,475 cars half of weights. That would be here almost 33,000. I have guys 33,475,000 kilograms. And now, in these cases, here is the momentum at the points. Well, now let's take it. What is about the kinetic energies of 33,475 kilograms kinetic cars? I have guys 33,475 cars to carry. They are 133,900 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants to vote in Manchester City. Then what is the kinetic energy of 33,475 cars? Provided by Blaise Metreweli. And in these cases, here we can see calculation is 33,475 multiplied by 10 cube multiplied by 121 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. And now in these cases, here is the moments. That is the significant cases at the points. Now here is the symbol of the terms. Well, what is 3 multiple? I guess what is 3 sum by 12? That is 15. And now here calculations becomes 121 multiplied by 33,475 multiplied by 10 to the power 15. And now let's check the points to be noticed. And now here our questions is going to be valid, and in this cases, well, now in this case here we can see what is 33. Okay. Now what is 33,475 multiplied by 121? That would be here 4,50,475. Okay. Now here we can see this the points. That is the significant chance to be notified. What is kinetic energies? I mean the kinetic energies is 4,50,475 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 joules. As a round figure, that would be 4.1 million multiplied by 10 to the power 15 joules. And now here is the question that what is 6 sum by 15, that is 21. That cases that it is almost 4.1 multiplied by 10 to the power 21 joules. And in these cases, what is 21? That is 6 sum by 15. And in these cases, that would be here. That is here 4.1 quadrillion megawatts. Okay. Now it is the plans of Blaise Metreweli to bring here 133,900 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants to vote in Manchester constituencies in the election of England in 2024. And that is the significant realities at the moment. Okay. Now in this case, here is my questions. I contain some significant questions to be noted. Well, now here my point is, what is the fuel volumes? Because fuel chosen by Blaise Metreweli is of course the petrol. And in these cases, here is the points. That is the significant terms. Petrol volumes calculation is here 4.1 multiplied by 10 to the power 21 joules can be divided by what? It is 4.1 multiplied by 10 to the power 21 watt can be divided by bracket of 2 multiplied by 50 multiplied by 0.778 bracket close. And here we can see 0.778 kilogram per liter is density of petrol. Petrol specific heat is joule, 2 joule per kilogram per kilograms. And here we can see this point 50 degrees Celsius is the automobile petrol highest temperature difference. And now let's check at the moments. In these cases, here is the requirements as in significant cases. Now here we can see the calculation begins 4.1 multiplied by 10 to the power 19 joule can be divided by 0.778. And now here the case becomes interesting. The point is going to be interesting. And now let's check the points. 4.1 multiplied by 10 to the power 19. Well, that can be divided by what? Here that can be divided by 0.778. And here we can see this points to be noticed. It is almost 52.8 thousand quadrillions liters of petrol. Okay. Now let's take the points. When one petrol costs $2 US, then what is the cost of 52.8 liters petrol. That would be here 100. What is 2.7 multiplied by 2? That is 5.4. Now 50 multiplied by 2 is 100, and in this cases that is here 105.4 United States dollars as a cost of 52.7 liters of petrol. And now in this cases, now what is here the cost of 52.8 thousand Apple gas? 52,000. Okay, let me take a breath. What is the cost of 52.8 thousand quadrillions liters of petrol? That is here 105.6 thousand quadrillions United States dollars. And now let's take at the points. But now we know that the England gross domestic product is here. Well, as a last check, England gross domestic product is 4.6, and in these cases, in 2024, England gross domestic product was almost 3 trillion United States dollars. Now, England gross domestic products in 2024 was 3 trillion United States dollars. Then what is the meaning of here cost of 52.8 thousand quadrillion liter of petrol to be 105.6 thousand quadrillion United States dollars? Now let's check at the points. What is 1,000 quadrillion can be divided by 1 trillion? That is 1 million. And now let's check at the points. Here is the calculations at the moment. Well, now let's check it. In these cases, at the in this cases here 105.6 multiplied by 10 to the power 6, that can be divided by 3. And now in this cases, well, what's going on? That is almost 35,200,000. And now in these cases, well, two contacts and 133,900 vote for Andy Burnham, the socialist England politicians, where 133,900 voters are illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. Here, Blaise Metreweli was dedicated to destroy here enter England gross domestic products with 35.2 million tons, as she is dedicated to destroy the England gross domestic product with 35.2 million tons. Who is the agreement signatures? The signatures as a symbol of agreements is the Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina accordance with July 1st, 2024. Now here I contest 2 minutes, and now in these cases, here is the several terms that can be as significant cases, and that is the significant dangerous crimes by conduct by Blaise Metreweli with the support of Sheikh Hasina. And now it is almost now in these cases, that was the first quarters of here 535,000 I apologize, 535,600 votes, where probably here Andy Burnham's contains here 420,000 749 votes, and Andy Barham is a socialist, and socialists cannot tolerate the gross domestic products of countries and developments of countries in economy. That is the significant points. And now here we can see here it is the first part, and now it is the first stage there to clear the statements they had. Now in Manchester City, you cannot speak English because speaking English language in a English language would be crimes in Manchester City of the Greater Manchester County of England. That is the first step to the action of Blaise Metreweli to vote for Andy Barnham. Now let's check it that the second points, second steps. That is the second 133,900 votes. And now in this cases here we can see that is the terms to be notified. Now, now here driving distance is now sometimes like a change. It is the second driving routes. Okay. Now we can see those points. Okay. Now let's check it. In this cases, here is an one upgradations. Now here upgradations is what is the upgradations? Bandar Abbas, port of Hormuzgan provincial state of Iran, is the middle spot near to Barishal, the city of Bangladesh. And now, in this cases, here we require something like 1 point, but now it is the significant moments. Now we can see here is my questions. Okay. Now let's take the momentums at the points. And now in these cases, the driving route, the second driving route is here now 12 with a driving distance to be 12,097 kilometers 560 meters. As a round figure, that would be 13,000 kilometers. Okay. Now in these cases, here is the moments. Now we can see these points. What is 33,475 can be multiplied by here 169, and now that would be here 5,657,275. Okay. Now let's get the okay, what's going on? And now in this cases, now let's contains here the first parts to be noticed, and now it is the significant symbolisms at the points. Okay. Now in this case, now here departure time is morning 6 o'clock, August 1st, 2024. Arrival time would be morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past, August 1st, 2024. And now, in this cases, here as the times to be done at the moments, that was an significant terms. Now let me cut on separate. And now, the driving distance is 38,000 kilometers. But now still driving timing is 1 second. Hence driving velocity is 39,000 kilometers per second. As an expert of 39,000 kilometers as a driving distance. And now in this case the points what is the let's discuss about the kinetic energies. Here when travel time is 1 second, kinetic energy becomes kinetic force. Okay, now in this cases we have stated the definitions of velocity with the travel time to be 1 second is driving calculated drive distance. And now in these cases here we can see the points. What is driving distance to be 13,000 kilometers, that is 13 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. And now in this way here what is the driving distance squares? 13 square is 169 and 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. Hence driving distance square is 169 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meter square. And now as a calculations of second 33,475 cars provided by Blaise Metreweli to hire the second 133,900 Bangladeshis to board in Manchester City or Greater Manchester County of England's election 2024. Here kinetic analysis is like that here 33,475 multiplied by 1000 kilograms multiplied by 169 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. And here when 3 sum by 12 is 15, you can see the calculations begins here 33,000 475 multiplied by 169 multiplied by 10 to the power 15. And now in this cases now here is a question. So here was a question in 5 minutes earlier that why I calculate 33,475 multiplied by 169. And here the reason is that the final calculations of kinetic energy powers would be 5.7 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 joules. That would be here 5.7 multiplied by 10 to the power 21 joules. When travel time is 1 second, that is here 5.7 quadrillions megawatts. And now in this cases, here is the points. Now let's check at the moments. And now here is the question: what is the petrol volume of your second 33,475 cars? Where fuel chosen by Blaise Metreweli is petrols. And now in these cases, here we can see, so here 5.7 multiplied by 10 to the power 21 joules can be divided by 2 bracket of 2 multiplied by 50 multiplied by 0.778 bracket close. And here calculations begins here 5.7 multiplied by 10 to the power 19 can be divided by 0.778. And now in these cases, here is the topics of the points. What is the final calculations? Hence, here we can see. Oh my gosh. 5.7 multiplied by 10 to the power 19. That can be here divided by words. In that cases, that can be divided by 0.778. And now in these cases, that is almost words, that is almost 73.3 thousand quadrillions United States dollars. And now let's take at the moments. Well, when 1 liter cost petrol costs 2 United States dollars, hence 73.3 liter petrol cost here, well, 146.6 United States dollars. Now here we can see what is the cost of 73.3 thousand quadrillions liters of petrols. That is here 146.6 thousand quadrillions United States dollars. And now here we can see in the calendar of in the date of 2024, the England gross domestic product was 3 trillion United States dollars. Hence, what is the meaning of the cost of 700 Able guys, 73.3 thousand quadrillions United States dollar. I mean liter of petrol meals. And here we can see now 1000 quadrillions can be divided by 1 trillion and result would be 1 million. And here the calculation would be 146.6 multiple by 10 to the power 6 can be divided by 3. And now let's check at the moments what is this beautiful results. And now beautiful results would be here accepted by you 146.6 multiple by 10 to the power 6 that can be here divided by 3. And now let's check at the points what is the result. That is almost 48.9 million stamps as an approximate. Now in these cases, now here result is here well Blaise Metreweli will can be dedicated to destroy the England gross domestic products in 2024 in 48.9 million tons to bring here second 133,900 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants voters from Barisal city of Bangladesh under the support of whom the Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina accordance with July 1st, 2024. And now, in these cases, that is the significant threat at the moment, and it is now the dangerous cases as we concern it. Okay. Now let's check at the points to be noticed, and here we can say something like as beautiful girls. Okay. Now what is 900 multiplied by 2? That is 10 That means 1.8 thousands. Well, and now what is 133 multiplied by 2? That is 266. Well, in this case, half of 535.6 thousand illegal Bangladeshi immigrants is almost here 267.8 thousand illegal Bangladeshi immigrants voters. And now, in this case, here we can see all of 267.8 thousand voters out of 420,749 votes for anti-Barhams was illegal Bangladeshi voters. Now let's check at the moment what is the significant case. And here we can see the points. Well, and here we can see what about the private calculations, and here we can see 267.8 thousands that can be divided by here words 420,749. And now let's check this. That would be here. Well, in half of 535.6 thousand, and here we can see the 50% of 535,600 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants was actually here 63.65% voters of the anti-Barhams. And now in these cases, here is a jackpot for anti-Barhams to become the parliamentarians of Manchester constituencies of England in the parliamentary election 2024. And in these cases, that is the significant case, the points. And here we can see we did not discuss about conservative women politicians votes to be 98,000. And here 266 I have already 270, okay, 267.8 thousand Bangladeshis already vote for anti-war arms. And in these cases, what is the significant results nowadays from 2024 to 2026? Here was the moments and that is the surprising moments. Well, that is less surprising but more shocking. And what is the more shocking? And now, in these cases, the more shocking points is like that. Well, and here we can see these cases. Well, now here is the thumbnails and my favorite Israeli YouTubers. English is not allowed. I mean, English language is not allowed in the city of England. And now let's take the moments of. Now here is the points. Well, what is the dare that a British assistant commissioner of police, probably from Manchester City, can state that speaking in English language is a hate crimes in the Manchester City of England. How could he state? And here, when we discuss the points, and here we will see the Blaise Metreweli, the ordinary officials of the MI6. I mean, is ordinary Russian official of the Englander MI6 already says that she could bring here 267,800 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants only to vote for here anti-war arms. And now here is the moments. What it is the 50%. Now rest of the 50% is not discussed. Where anti-war arms total vote was 420,749 votes. And now what's happening in there? Okay. Now let's take about the third parts of 133.9 thousand illegal Bangladeshi immigrants journey travels to vote in Manchester constituency of England election in parliamentary election in 2024. Now let's take the points. Well, here I think I would change the terms to be noted. Well, here driving route is now a significant change. Well, here we can see here third driving route is difference, and for the third driving route, let's replace Bandar Abbas port of Hormozgan provincial state of Iran by Shanghai. Shanghai. Well, the city of China. Okay. And now let's check what's going on. And now you can see these points. Well, it is almost here. We can see the driving distance becomes 16,000. Well, okay, 16,456 kilometers, 720 meters. As a round figure, that would be here 70,000 kilometers. And now, first of all, let's check what is 17 square. That would be here 289. Okay, now it is confirmed. And now, what is here 33,475 can be multiplied by here 289. And now this is almost 9,647,000. I have guessed 9,647,000 674,275. And now let's take it the moments. And here I would mention the formal reasons. And now let's take it the moments here. But here departure times and arrival time is same. Here departure time is morning 6 o'clock, August 1st, 2024, and arrival time is morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past August 1st, 2024. I apologize. Now, July 1st, departure times and arrival time is same, July 1st, 2024. But as a departure date and arrival date it is same. But the difference is the times, where departure time is morning 6 o'clock and arrival time is morning 6 o'clock 1 second past. That means your travel time is 1 second. And now let's take at the moments what is the driving distance, that it would be here 17,000 kilometers. But when driving timing is 1 second, hence we can understand here driving velocity is 17,000 kilometer per second as a driving velocity. And now in the topic of kinetic energies methods, and here we can see 17,000. What is the here when the travel time is 1 second, kinetic energy is kinetic force, and the driving velocity becomes driving distance. And now in this case, what is the driving distance to be 17,000 kilometers, that is 17 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. And here, we have calculated 17 square is 289 and 6 multiplied by 2 is 12 always. Hence, the driving distance square is 289 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meters squares. Okay. Now we can see this point. So, 1 car's half of weight provided by the Blaise Metreweli is 1,000 kilograms for illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. And now in this case, here is the calculations that what is the kinetic powers of 33,475 cars to carry 133,900 illegal Bangladeshi voters provided by Blaise Metreweli. That is your 33,475 multiplied by 10 cube multiplied by 289 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. That becomes 33,475 multiplied by 289 multiplied by here 10 to the power 15. And now why I calculate 33,475 multiplied by 289? Because here we can check the final calculation is almost, here we can kinetic powers to be 9.7 multiplied by 10 to the power 21 joules. That means here approximately it is the 9.7 quadrillions megawatts with a travel time to be 1 second. And now in this cases, here is the points of what was the kinetic power. Now here is my questions and the points. What is the fuel volume? Where fuel chosen by Blaise Metreweli is petrols. And now in this case, the calculation of petrol volume is 9.7 multiplied by 10 to the power 21 can be entered divided by bracket of 2 multiplied by 50 multiplied by 0.777 bracket close. That becomes here calculation to be 9.7 multiplied by 10 to the power 19 to be divided by 0.778. And now let's check here what's the going on the results. And now in this cases the moments. Okay. Now we can see the, now let's check the points to be noted. 9.7 multiplied by 10 to the power 19. That can be divided by words 0.778. 778. And now let's check it. That's the moments here we can see. Okay. That is your 124.8 thousand quadrillions liter of petrol. Okay, now let's check at the moments when 1 liter petrol cost 2 United States dollars. Then what is the cost of 124.8 liter petrol? Now let's check at the points. What is 0.7 multiple? Guys, what is 0.8 multiple by 2? That is your 1.6. And what is 124 multiple by 2? That is 248. And 248 sum by 1.6 is 249.6. And now in this case there is the moments to be noticed. 249.6 thousand quadrillions United States dollar is the cost of 124.8 thousand quadrillions liter of petrol. But in 2024 year, England gross domestic product was 3 trillion United States dollars. And now here is the check is the points. What is the meaning of 200? What is the meaning of cost of 124.8 thousand quadrillions liters of petrol? And now let's check at the points. In this cases here, 1000 quadrillions can be divided by 1 trillion, and the result would be 1 million. And here the calculations becomes here 249.6 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 can be divided by 3. And now let's check it. What is the beautiful results? And now in this case of the moments, here is the terms to be noticed. 124.8 multiplied by 10 to the power 6. Oh my gosh. That will be the significant points. Here 249.6 multiplied by 10 to the power 6. That can be divided by words. In this cases, that can be divided by 3. And now it is almost 83.2 millions. And now in this cases, here we can state the momentums at the points. Now here the calculation is state that here Blaise Metreweli was dedicated to destroy the entire England gross domestic products in 83.2 million times to bring here third 133,900 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants to vote in Greater Manchester constituencies of England parliamentary election 2024. And now in these cases, that is the significant points, and here we can see it is the dangerous phase. Okay. Now here we can see here is the coming to the moments. Now first, here now calculations of 3, 4. Calculation of third quarters in here 3 quarters in out of 535.6 thousand illegal Bangladeshi immigrants to be voters. And now in these cases, here is the moments. What is 133 multiplied by 3? That is 399. And now what is 0.9 multiplied by 3? That is 2.7. And now in this cases, what is 399 sum by 2.7? That is here 401.7. That means in these cases, we have calculated as an 401.7 1.7 thousands illegal Bangladeshi immigrants. Yes, to be voters in Greater Manchester constituencies of England Parliamentary election 2024. And now that is their significant plans of Blaise Metreweli. Okay. Now in this cases, here is the one part. Now let's check what is the effects of that. Now let's check it here. We can see 401.7 thousands can be divided by 420,749. And now let's check it. That is almost what? It is almost here 95.473%. Okay. Now we can see 75% of here we can see 75% out of here 533.6 thousand illegal Bangladeshi immigrants was actually here 95.483% voters of here anti-born harms. Because anti-born harm is a socialist politician from British Labour parties. Hence, the following white Englander who can vote for an British Labour politicians would not vote for socialist British Labour politicians. And now, here is the reasons that why 75% out of 535.6 thousand illegal Bangladeshi immigrant voters was actually 95.473% voter only vote for anti-born harm, the socialist, communist British Labour parties. And now that is the world of the points. And in this cases, now here is the questions. The question is the points. When I am a parliamentarian of the England Parliament from the Manchester City, but here we can see I get a vote of 420,749 and 420,749 where 95.473% of my voters are Bangladeshi, and my opponent conservative politician gets only 98,000 votes, independence contest here 68,000 votes, and another was a rest of 90,000 votes. And now, what is the meaning of that? Yeah, that was the symbols here we can see. When I am a parliamentarian in Manchester constituencies, in England parliaments, and the base of 95%, I forgot 95.473% Bangladeshi voters, here I would try to establish Bangla would be the official language in Greater Manchester County of England, and I would contest an effort to remove English language from Greater Manchester constituencies when I am a socialist. And in these cases, these levels of anti-national activities was happened by the ordinary MI6 officials, Blaise Metreweli, where her nationality is Russian. And now in this cases, that is the moment. Well, here is the probable reason that why Manchester Assistant Commissioner of Police could say the speaking in English language is a hate crime. Now, in this case, that is the dangerous points to be noticed. Okay. And now let's take at the points. Now Hannah Spacers and Laura Evans. Let's check it. What was the last 133.9 thousand illegal Bangladeshi immigrant voters travel routes? And here we can see that is the significant terms at the points, and here we can state the moments. Well. And now in these cases, here is some change. Bandar Abbas. Okay. Now let's check at the moments. Now here I could notify what will be the change at the points to be noticed. Here the calculations would be at the slow times. But now let's think about the moments. Well, here we can see Laura Evans, the women to be conservative politician, British conservative politician gets 68,946. And here we can see the points. Hannah Spencer can get here 45,905 Bangladeshi voters. And now we can see 4,500, I apologize, well, 45,905 out of 133.9 thousand Bangladeshi voters vote for Hannah Spencer's. On the other hand, here 68,946 out of 133.9 thousand Bangladeshi voters vote for Laura Evans, the women to be British conservative politicians. And now let's check at the moments. And here we can see, I think, here we could notify that would be an Bandar Abbas, and here we can see. Now we can control the removables at some times. And now let's check what happens. Yes, now it is clear cut at points. Now here driving distance is 20,674 kilometers 730 meters. As a round figures, now let's check what is the round figures. In this case, the round figure that is almost 21,000 kilometers. Well, velocity is 21,000 kilometers per second. And here we can see now 441 velocity is 21,000 kilometers per second, and driving distance is here 21,000 kilometers, and driving timing would be 1 second. And now in this cases, the previous now as an preparations, here we can see we would calculate 33,475 multiplied by words 441, and that would be here 14,762,475. As a round figure, that would be 14.8 million. And now let's check at the moments. What is the kinetic energies at the points to notice here? Let's check at the points when travel time is 1 second. Kinetic energy is kinetic force, and velocity becomes driving distance. Driving velocity becomes driving distance. And now in these cases, here is the points to be noted. Well, Now 133 and now what is the driving distance to be 21,000 kilometers? That means 21 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. And what is driving distance square? That is 441 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meters square. Because your driving time square would be 1 second square. And now in this case, here we can see, here is the points to be noted. What is the calculation of kinetic force? When half of weight of 33,475 cars is 33,475 multiplied by 1,000 kilograms. And now let's take it. The calculation is that here 33,475 multiplied by 1,000 multiplied by 441 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. And hence the calculations becomes 33,475 multiplied by 441 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 joules. And here we can see the final calculation becomes 14.8 multiplied by 10 to the power 21 joules. That has the kinetic force to be here 14.8 quadrillions megawatts. And now in this cases there is okay for that. And now in this cases that the points to be noted. And here the points is the journey price and the significance. What is the fuel volume? So here fuel is sent by Blaise Metreweli is a petrol. And now in these cases there is the momentums at the points. The petrol volume calculation is 14.8 multiplied by 10 to the power 21. Entire can be divided by bracket of 2 multiplied by 50 multiplied by 0.778. And hence the calculations begins 14.8 multiplied by 10 to the power 19. Enter divided by 0.778. And now in this here, that is the points to be noted. And here we can see 14.8 multiplied by 10 to the power 19. That can be here divided by words 0.778. Now let's check it is the moments to be notified. That is almost watts 190.3 thousand quadrillions liters of petrols. Now let's check the points. Here 0.2 multiplied by 2 is 0.4 and 190 multiplied by 2 is 380. Hence here we can see this points. When 1 liter petrol costs 2 United States dollars, then 190.2 thousand quadrillions liter of petrol costs 380.4 thousand quadrillions United States dollars. But in 2024, here England gross domestic product was 3 trillion United States dollars. And now, what is the meaning of the cost of 190.3 190.3 thousand quadrillions United States, a liter of petrol? And now this is the cases of parts. What is 1 million quadrillion divided by 1 trillion? That is what? What is 1,000 quadrillions can be divided by 1 trillion? That is 1 million. And now here the calculation would be 380.6 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 can be divided by 3. And now let's check us what is the result. And now here we can see that is the significant magics. 380.6 multiplied by 10 to the power 6, that can be divided by words, that can be divided by 3. And now, in this cases, here we can see state the points. Well, the result is 126.7 millions. Applicants, it is almost 126.9 millions. And now, in this cases, the moments at the points. Well, here we can see. Well, now in these cases, well, Blaise Metreweli could be dedicated to destroy the entire Englander gross domestic products with 126.9 million tons, only to bring what? Only to bring last 133.9 thousand illegal Bangladeshi immigrants voters to vote in Manchester, Manchester constituencies of Englander parliamentary election 2024, where 68,946 out of 133.9 thousand illegal Bangladeshi immigrants are voters to vote for Laura Evans, the women to be British Conservative parties, and 48,905 out of 133.9 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants voters are to vote for Hannah Spacers, the women to be British Green Party. And now, here is the points to be noticed. The data and the significant trace that can be notified. Well. What is the percentage of the from the last 133 points? We can see 68,946 can be divided by 133.9 thousands. That would be here 51.491%. And now, what is 45,905 can be divided by 133.9 thousands. And now here you can see that is here 34.284%. Now, from the last 133.9 Bangladeshi illegal immigrants to be voters, here we can see 51.491% and Bangladeshi illegal immigrants as voters as the last quarters only vote for Laura Evans, the women to be British conservative politicians. On the other hand, here 34.284% out of last 133.9 Bangladeshi voters are dedicated to vote for Hannah Spacers, the women to be British Green Party. And now, that is the significant points. Well, here we can see the moments at the points to be noticed. Here when 95.478% illegal Bangladeshi voters, immigrant voters, vote for Andy Bormans, where Andy Bormans is current Prime Minister of England, and here 51 point you can see the response 51 the 100% voters out of the 68,946 Bangladeshi illegal immigrants vote for Laura Evans, the women to be British Conservative parties, and 45,905 illegal Bangladeshi voters as a 100% vote for Hannah Spacers, and now that is the significant points. Here it is the probable moments, not only here Laura Evans, but Hannah Spacer, but Andy Barman, who would be the Prime Minister of England from the election of Manchester, Greater Manchester constituencies, mayor results, and here we can see they would establish Bengali language in as an official language in Greater Manchester, and they would set speaking English as a hate crime. And now that is the significant ways as we could check the results or final results that can be security concerns. Here an Israeli YouTuber gets shocked when he could see English is not allowed in Greater Manchester constituencies of Englander parliaments. But here English is not allowed. Only Bengali is allowed. And now that is a dangerous trait we could see at the points to notice, because when English is the lingual base of England. Well, England is in the base of the English language. But now, here, 535.6 thousand voters to be illegal Bangladeshi immigrants decide the Bangla would be the only one official language in Greater Manchester and English would be removed. And now that is the plan of the Blaise Metreweli, the ordinary officials of the Englander MI6 in 23-24. And now that is the significant threats. And what is the effect after the results? She becomes here directors of MI6. She becomes the director of Englander MI6, where she is a Russian spy under the command of Vladimir Putin. Now we can see this point. That is the significant threats to be noticeable as some moments. Okay. Now in here we can see, in Manchester constituencies, you could be pro-Palestine, you could be supporters of Palestine. That would be the acceptables only for the liberal left-wing Englanders, and that is the rejectable by the right nationalist Englanders. But it was okay. But now, today's in Manchester City, here English is not acceptable. Now here you can see these points. That is the significant threats for the Englander sovereignties. And now we could check at the points to notice. Well, and it is my short times to react the video of SaharTV, where Sahar is an Israeli YouTuber. When the video was English is not allowed in England. That is the effort of Blaise Metreweli. But now, here we can see, it is the toxic feminism toxic here, and MI6 agents could bring illegal Bangladeshi immigrants, 535.6 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants to vote in Manchester constituencies of Englander parliamentary elections, where 420,000. Well, 749 illegal Bangladeshi immigrants could decide here anti-Harms would be the Prime Minister of England after the resignation of transgender Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Curse was the moments at the points to be noticed, and now I am afraid that December 25, 2026, we could notify here Christmas Day 2026 would not be celebrated in England. And now that is the great stress for England and sovereignty. And that was the plan of Blaise Metreweli to establish Bengali language and remove English language from Manchester constituencies. And now here we will discuss Sharia law letters, but now for that let's sign off. Love you.